Yeah, but you're okay. Those things never get in your way. And I've been down this road so many times before.
So, welcome back to Sound and Vision. My name is Jim, and this is your monthly digital entertainment review on SMB TV. So, thank you for the great feedback for myself and also my partner in crime, plus my partner, my editor, Glenn. That was a fun episode to make, and we hope you enjoyed this one as much. So now here is the segment I'd like to call Listen. So the first album I'd like to recommend to all of you is by London Grammar, and it's called Californian Soul. It was released this year, and it is their third official release after a very successful career. They formed, it's actually a trio from the UK, and they formed in 2009, and their first release, If You Want, hitting #1 on the UK charts and the Australian charts, a successful second album, and now the follow-up third album, Californian Soul. This album takes them up on their trajectory to becoming one of the UK's best bands. They've been nominated for quite a few Brit Awards and making a lot of noise, pardon the pun, in the industry, especially now with their third album. This one actually continues their sound, but gives it a more cinematic scope. So I feel that their trajectory is bang on, and they're growing as a band and finding their feet. Their music has been described as a blend of ambient sounds, ethereal and natural sounds, with the lead singer, Hannah's soaring vocals and melancholic guitars backing her up. So it's a exotic and intoxicating mix, perfect for chilling out. Definitely this album is worth a listen. I love this band so much, and I'm so glad that they're finding such success both here and in the UK. So the second album I want to recommend to you all is by a DJ that goes by the name Tensnake. He's a German DJ known as Marco Nemersky. So Tensnake has been gaining musical traction since 2010 and has been producing dance mix or dance remixes for the likes of Justin Timberlake, Cut Copy, Dua Lipa, London Grammar, and the Pet Shop Boys. He's also produced 2 albums, this being the second one, called LA. His latest offering has some great 80s riffs in it, plus some definite house vibes, and also that Ministry of Sound thing going on. This album provides a sonic escape on dreary days, and especially if you want to feel up and revitalized, there's plenty of great tracks here. It's dance music, but done in a way that's accessible to all. The standout tracks on this album for me are Antibodies, and also a great cover of the Pointer Sisters' Automatic, so it gives it a nice modern update. Definitely worth a listen. So now I have my favourite bit, the music Fast 5. Number 1, my artist of the month goes to the 1975. They are a British band, a 4-piece band, based in Manchester, UK. They definitely move through the genres, doing pop, rock, some really ambient tracks, musical, instrumental. They also are one of the most loved and hated bands in the UK. So they're scoring #1s both in the UK, America, and here in Australia. But unfortunately, not all the critics tend to love them, so it is reflected in some of their videos as well. Number 2, my most excited release for this month is Headphone Babies by The Vaccines. I love The Vaccines. They have this slight post-punk rockabilly sensibility about them, so their albums are quick, fast and furious, but they're actually mellowing it down a little as they go, and this song is a great track. Make sure you check it out. Number 3, album or music worth the hype. So this month I give it to Beck's Morning Phase, which was released in 2014. I remember listening to this album after Kanye West's rejection of it winning the 2016 Grammy nomination for Best Album. He believed that Beyonce should have won that Grammy, And I thought, how good is this album, Morning Phase? And it's an amazing album. He wrote all the songs, he produced all the songs, and played, I think, over 10 instruments on the actual album, versus the Beyonce album that Kanye was referring to, which has over 14 producers and over 20 songwriters. And I think Beyonce, you know, sang on it and did a little bit of production as well. So I think the Grammys were bang on by giving it to Beck. But listen to the album Morning Phase. It's such a classic and well worth revisiting. Number 4 is Classics to Revisit, and this one goes to Flesh and Blood by Roxy Music, released in 1980. I've been listening a lot to Roxy Music lately, just listening to their influences and people they have influenced as well. And I find that you can definitely hear a lot of the early 80s UK music output thread back to this album itself. Mind you, Roxy Music have taken their own influences from the likes of Pink Floyd as well, using that beautiful expansive guitar that Pink Floyd definitely made popular in the early 70s. But Roxy Music add a lot of sex and pop sensibility to that sound to produce an amazing album that influenced the generation. So definitely listen to it, and then listen to all, and then you can hear all the influences that it actually had. So number 5, the song of the moment is Coldplay's Higher Power. This has been just released, and it is their first collaboration with Max Martin, the Swedish producer that gave us all those power pop bands and songs in the noughties and let's say early 2010s. So I look forward to that collaboration because it sounds like a fun one. And that is Sound and Vision. Listen. And now we are up to the binge part of Sound and Vision. And this month I'd like to recommend to all my viewers a show that I've recently started watching, and it's on Stan here in Australia, but it's originally on the Peacock streaming services, which is NBC in America, and it's a show called Girls 5 Ever. It's season 1 is out now, and it has 8 episodes. One of this show's executive producers is Tina Fey from 30 Rock, and as expected, this show does have that 30 Rock sensibility, hijinks, shenanigans, and just really easy to watch and fun. Not as densely packed with gags as 30 Rock, but still does have that sense of humor to it. The show stars Sarah Bareilles, and she's actually famous for being a singer first. And she's got songs like Love Song and also Brave out. They were huge hits for her. The show also stars Busy Phillips, and I loved her in Cougar Town, and she doesn't disappoint in this. Plus, it also has one of my favourite actors, Andrew Reynolds, and he's from the show Girls and the musical Book of Mormons. He's always a delight, and I love seeing him pop up in shows. As of this review, the show gets 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with around 26 critics' reviews. So that's pretty good, although it's just been released and it's its first season. However, that's a fantastic start, and I would agree with the critics. This is a really fun show to watch, and the flashbacks to the 1990s girl band that they are makes this even more fun and outrageous. My rating for this show is that it is easy to watch, lots of fun, does have that typical American themes and messages, but because it doesn't take itself too seriously, it's a great watch. So a solid 8 out of 10. My second show I want to recommend is also a comedy. This time it's Kim's Convenience. At the moment it's being shown on Netflix here in Australia, and it has 5 seasons so far, 65 episodes. I'm actually just starting season 2. So I'm currently midway through the second season and thoroughly enjoying this. It was recommended by a friend. Thanks, Megan. And yeah, it's fantastic. The show starring Paul Sun-Hung Lee, also starring is Jean Yoon and Andrea Bang, plus Simu Liu. Simu will be playing Marvel's first Asian-based superhero character in the upcoming movie, Shang-Chi. Kim's Convenience is a TV show about a Korean-Canadian family running a mini-mart in Toronto, Canada. The show has a similar feel and pace as Schitt's Creek, playing on immigration demographics and family issues, but with a firm eye on entertainment as well. And just like Schitt's Creek, this show is a late bloomer and is gaining more momentum and popularity as the seasons go by. My rating on this one is that it's a really solid cast and definitely worth checking out, and you'll find yourself chuckling and giggling over the 30 minutes. I give it a 8 out of 10. And here we go. This is TV's or binges Fast 5. Number 1, Actor of the Month. I would give it to Simu Liu for his role in Kim's Convenience, but also for his upcoming Marvel movie. I think it's going to be amazing to have our first Asian superhero. Number 2, the most overhyped TV release. And unfortunately, this is going to go to RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. I am a fan of the franchise, and I do enjoy the show. So there is a disclaimer. I have not watched the whole series. So far, the first 2 episodes have dropped, and I'm not living for it. The show seems like a poor cousin to the franchise, but also the editing and some of the choices, I'm going to call shenanigans and riggery. So far, not that impressed, but, you know, 2 episodes in, hopefully it changes my mind as we go along. So number 3, worth the hype. On Netflix Australia, there's a show called Love, Death and Robots, and Volume 1 was released in, I think, 2019, and Volume 2 is just about to drop, and this is actually it's not a series, it's mini episodes. Yeah, they deal with all sorts of topics, and they're quite random, some of them are quite dark, some of them are quite fun and irreverent, and I really enjoyed the Volume 1 or Season 1, and definitely worth watching. So Volume 2 is just about to drop. So Death, Love and Robots, worth the hype. Go watch it. Number 4, Revisit. So anyone that knows me knows this is no shocker. My suggestion for Revisit this month is the Friends TV show. It's showing currently on Netflix Australia. So this month on HBO Max, an American streaming service, they will be showing the reunion episode, which is the 6 actors getting back together to discuss and review the show and celebrate the 10 years. I'm a huge fan of Friends, and it seems, you know, there's millions of people out there that would agree with me, and it's very exciting to see them all back again. I believe there might be a table read of an episode, or maybe an excerpt of an episode. So yes, that's very exciting. So in honor of HBO Max's reunion episode, I say go back and watch all 10 years of Friends. I mean, I've watched it once or twice, 10 times. Definitely worth a rewatch. And number 5, my high expectations is soon to be released. Actually, I think it's going to be released tomorrow as of taping. The Netflix Australia show called Halston. It's starring Ewan McGregor, and it is about the fashion designer Halston that shot to fame in the 70s and let's say early 80s, dressing all the celebrities, was quite prolific during that time in the American design space. So Ewan McGregor's I've seen the trailers and it's so good, can't wait for that one. So, and that was Binge for this month's Sound and Vision. And welcome to Watch, the movie part of the segment. The first movie I'd like to recommend and review is the movie called Nobody, released in 2021. This movie stars Bob Odenkirk. You would know him from the lovable lawyer from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Also has an appearance by Christopher Lloyd, and he's the Doc from Back to the Future. This is an action thriller with an emphasis of over-the-top, blunt, graphic violence. However, I get a feeling that it's done with a tongue-in-cheek, dry approach, giving it a sense of absurdity as well. So even though it is a drama thriller, I found it so over the top that I couldn't take it seriously. Enjoyable, but couldn't take it seriously. One of the fun parts was watching Bob Odenkirk play against type in this, not superhero, but sort of an action man role. So that made it fun because we've not seen him in such a role. So my rating for this movie is, even though there's no real storyline here, the over-the-top action and drama made it fun. It wasn't believable at all, but that's not the point of this movie. If you don't like hyper violence, then stay away from this movie. But it almost was like a video game for me, and I believed in nothing. However, it was fun to watch. So I would give it a 7 out of 10. The second movie I'd like to recommend is a Netflix Australia movie by the name of Space Sweepers, which was released in 2021. This is a South Korean movie that's an action western sci-fi and officially known as the first sci-fi blockbuster to come from South Korea. The movie is set way in the future and concentrates around the separation of people from those that live on uninhabitable Earth and those that are able to live on newly formed livable habitats in space. And it is the classic us and them movie scenario. The look and feel of this movie is fantastic. It has a sense of Fifth Element to it. Of course, there's Star Wars in there. The visuals are beautiful. They're smart. They're stylish. They're slick. And they're fun and over the top. What makes this movie fun, or what I really enjoyed about it myself, was that all the characters speak their own native tongue. So even though it's a South Korean movie, people were speaking, whether it's French or Korean or English, everyone spoke their own language, which gave it this global One Earth feel, which they were going for. My rating on this film is get ready for a fun ride, a visual spectacle. Even though the story has been done before, that doesn't matter. It's heaps of fun, and there's even some fart humour in there for all you lowbrow comedy fans. I found it fun, and I loved the visuals, and I loved the global approach to the casting and the acting. I give this one a solid 8 out of 10. And now here is my movie Fast 5. Number 1, Actor of the Month. And this one's going to go to Stanley Tucci. Stanley is currently in a movie called Supernova, which I've yet to watch. I might review it next month. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. But yes, he's a fantastic actor. You know, people might call him a character actor, but he's so deserving of lead roles because he's just a master. He's my man of the moment. Number 2, I was going to say overhyped release, but I'll call it the meh release. And that one goes to Stowaway, new movie on Netflix Australia. The cast was great, was solid, but left me a little bit underwhelmed. I watched it, kind of entertained, switched it off, and never thought of it again. Sorry. Number 3, Worth the Hype. Well, another Netflix movie, and this is The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I just watched this. It's an animated movie, just released, and so much fun. So much fun. The people that animated this movie are the same people that animated the Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie. You know, this is aimed at the family and kids, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. The 2 robots, they're malfunctioning robots, steal the show, plus the dog. But yeah, if you want a fun, easy, smart movie, just watch this one. It's well worth the hype. Number 4, movies to revisit. This one goes to Jojo Rabbit. I was talking to a friend recently, and we were just chatting about how amazing this movie is, and I've only seen it once. Yet you can watch this multiple times and get something out of it. It's It's one of those movies that hits the mark in every way, whether it's storytelling and cinematography, directing, acting. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm going to be revisiting it very soon, so definitely watch. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, but you know, it is up for multiple viewings and you'll still enjoy it. And number 5, High Expectations. This one's going to be dropping very soon, and it is called Army of the Dead. It's a zombie movie, which I'm not a huge fan of zombies, but the cast in this one is fantastic, and also Zack Snyder directed it. So love him or hate him, he does love his good action movies, and I can't wait to see this one. And that was it. That was the Fast 5 in the movie section. And thank you for watching second episode of Sound and Vision. I hope you enjoyed it. All the relevant links are down below. Feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, do all that social media stuff. Happy to review something that you're interested in. Just let me know. Until then, I'll see you next month, and thank you for watching Sound and Vision. See ya.